Gary Payton at the Seattle Supersonics. Hey, I'm Gary Payton at the Seattle Supersonics.
Jay Peter with the Seattle Mariners.
Jermaine Curse.
Cliff Averill.
Dave Burleson. You're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam.
You're watching NorbCam.
Well, that was a weird start to the show. It seems like there's always some kind of weird glitch whenever get things going on here, but what the heck. Anyway, happy Wednesday to all you guys here watching. Thanks for tuning in to NorbCam for another live edition of Ask Norb. Today, we got a few things to talk about for the next hour or so. As all of you who've been following football probably know, there's just a lot going on with the draft coming up next week. We got the NFL schedule being announced tomorrow evening. A lot of talk about Earl Thomas. Is he going to be a Seahawk or not? He's going to be traded. Just a lot of changes, a lot of things going on. But I want to thank all you guys for jumping in on the chat. I see Wowzen, David, Charlene, Deadly Skills, DJ Marley, Hype, Juanita from Spokane, Pack, Sports Talk, Seahawks fan, Golden State Warriors fan, Drew Smith, Seahawks fan 12, and more of you guys jumping on. Again, if you guys want to call in to talk about whatever questions you might have, hopefully Seahawks related, you can call at 515-739-1219 and enter the code 696153. And we'll try to get as many as I can in the next hour or so. Just a quick reminder, I'm pretty excited. We're about 1 month away from our Hawk Fest event taking place at Emerald Downs here in Auburn, Washington, our big fundraising event put on by my charity 12s Helping 12s. And it's our big fundraiser to raise money for folks in need around the Puget Sound area. And so that's 1 month away on May 19th, a Saturday. So if you guys are in the area, hope you guys will come out and check it out from 1 to 5 p.m. I'm going to be on stage playing music. We're going to have all kinds of great prizes, auction items, things like that. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's always a blast, and it's in a new location, so we're very excited about it. And another big news that I got to announce today is that 12s Helping 12s, our charity, actually just officially got our notice today that we are now a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So, which is awesome for us because now we can take tax-deductible donations. People can donate anything to 12s Helping 12s, and it's a tax-deductible donation. So that'll be fantastic moving forward for both us and people who want to support us. So anyway, let's get into this thing right now. Time is short, and I want to get to as many calls as possible. So, but real quick, with the Hawkfest coming up next month, we're still looking for sponsors and auction items. So if you guys want to be involved in that, you can reach me at norbcam.com, and we can talk about how you can help us out. All right. The draft next week starts Thursday. And as you know, it's going to be a huge time for the Seahawks to see how they're going to reload their roster. I'm going to do before the event on Thursday. I'm going to do a big my kind of prediction on some of the moves they might make. But I am going to be attending the official Seahawks draft party, which is taking place at, ironically, Earl's Kitchen and Bar in Bellevue. That's where the official Seahawks party is taking place this year. Never been there before, but I'm looking forward to it. So I'll be broadcasting live out of Earl's Kitchen and Bar, the draft first day of the 2018 draft, and see what Seattle decides to do with the 18th overall pick. Will they choose a lineman? Will they choose a wide receiver? Or will they trade out of that and try to get more picks? Will Earl Thomas be on the trading block when we come up for that pick? We'll find out. But that is next Thursday, so it's going to be great. So hopefully you guys can watch it, simulcast it, get my reactions from the crowd at the party. Should be a lot of fun. So again, the schedule tomorrow at 5 p.m. We know who our opponents are, but we will find out the exact schedule so we can see how the timing, when these games are going to take place, which are going to be the prime time, how many prime time games we'll get, Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night football. Of course, the only one we know so far is the October game against the Raiders, where we will finally get to see beast mode going against the Seahawks. So that'll be a lot of fun, and I will be there in London. So it's going to be a blast. But I can't wait to find out who and where we'll be playing, and when, more importantly, when that schedule comes out. A couple of moves have been made. I don't think I talked about it last week, but Seattle did get a kicker. I'm actually excited about this. I kind of teased this when I first heard that the Raiders let him go, but when Sebastian Seabass Janikowski was released by the Raiders, I thought, man, that'd be a good pickup if the price is right. I don't know what the price came out to be, but this guy has been around forever, like 18 years in the league, something like that. And the guy's good. The guy, I looked up his stats in his last full season. He didn't play a full season last year because he had some back issues last year, but I think he's back to normal. But Sebastian Janikowski in 2016, 82.9% on field goals with a long of 56 and 94.9% on extra points, which is not too bad. Not his best year, but pretty good considering. Blair Walsh, on the other hand, who was very good on extra points, 97.4%, pretty accurate on extra points. However, when it came to field goals, quite a drop at 72%. So I'll take 82 over 72% any day. So I like that move, and as we found last year, the kicker can make the difference between going 9-7 and staying at home and being 12-4 in the playoffs. So hopefully that move pans out. And what else we want to talk about? All right, let's get into it real quick. So Earl Thomas, a lot of discussion about whether he'll be a Seahawk or not. Here's the quick recap of what happened. Of course, everybody remembers what he did at the Dallas Cowboys win last year at the end of the season, where he went and chased down the coach of the Cowboys and told him, "Hey, if the Seahawks kick me to the curb, pick me up, pick me up." And as it turns out, it seems to be that the Dallas Cowboys are making a lot of moves that would indicate that they might be interested in picking up our Earl Thomas. It just so happens that they released Des Bryant, who had a cap hit of $8.5 million. And Earl Thomas, guess what? His cap hit for the Seahawks is $8.5 million. How coincidental is that? So it certainly could be looked at that by making that move, it allows them a roster spot to move Earl Thomas and take him if the Seahawks are willing to work out a deal. I think the Seahawks, from what I'm hearing, is they want some pretty high value for him, maybe like a first rounder and a third for Earl Thomas. So we'll see if, not only do both teams have to, want to be a good fit, but they got to agree on the terms. So we'll see if that's going to happen. But I'm still hoping, fingers crossed, that Earl Thomas remains a Seahawk. I wouldn't want to see him go. I think he could still go one more, give him one more extension. And he's still got a lot left in the tank, I think. But the Seahawks are probably also looking at that Cam Chancellor contract extension, which they just did, and now pretty hefty contract with a lot of guarantees. And now that with that neck injury has basically hamstrung the Seahawks from being able to do much and being stuck in a very unfavorable contract situation with Cam Chancellor, who will likely not play football again. So they might have looked at that and said, well, we did that once the first time, may not be worth the risk trying to do that again on an older player entering, their 30s in Earl Thomas. So easy to look at both sides. There's two sides of the equation where you could see the plus of wanting to keep the player, but the risk if you give him a lot of money in an aging veteran, one injury, and again you could be in a really bad contract situation like the Cam Chancellor situation. So we shall see. It could get very interesting come draft time next week. So we'll keep an eye on that. What else? There was a lot of talk about the whole backup quarterback. I tell you, it seems like every year the Seahawks have a controversy at backup quarterback every year. This time, we all knew about the criminal issues with our former backup quarterback, and so here comes Colin Kaepernick back into the news media. Seahawks were going to give him a workout, but then they decided, well, we need to talk about your whole kneeling in the anthem situation, and then they postponed the workout. As it turns out, it seems that Seattle may be taking a little more harder stance on players and their displaying of their political agendas on the field. And perhaps they just don't want this to be a toxic situation. So at this point, Colin Kaepernick is not going to have a workout with the Seahawks. Mixed feelings on that anyway. At one point, I never thought I could even imagine him being in a Seahawks uniform, and now the possibility is like you can actually rationalize that. It could actually make some sense. But for now, Austin Davis was re-signed back as our current backup quarterback. It's a pretty safe move. We never saw him on the field once last year because, as you know, Russell Wilson is a robot that will not go down. So hopefully that none of this will be an issue anyway, but we'll see what happens there. Let's get to some calls, shall we? Let's see who's on the phone here. I've got not too many at the moment, but I do see we got Nita over in Spokane. Nita, what's going on? It's good to we'll get this line open. It's good to hear from you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. You know, it's a fun time during the off season. You know, the draft coming up. A lot of hope, a lot of excitement, a lot of curiosity as to what the Seahawks will do. But yeah, I'm doing all right.
A lot of fear. F-E-A-R, fear, my friend. Fear.
No,
you call it. Where is Earl? That's the fear. Where is he?
Well, yes, we had a little conversation about that before the show, talking about Earl Thomas, a no-show. No surprise there, a no-show at voluntary workouts. Nothing much to be made out of that. That's kind of to be expected. He's not the only one not showing up to voluntary workouts. It's voluntary for one, so it's not like he's holding out. He doesn't have to be there. And it's no surprise considering that he pretty much stated that from the beginning. I think at the Pro Bowl, he said that he may hold out if the contract situation isn't resolved. So, that he kind of let the Seahawks and everyone else know that he may do that. So he could be in the Bahamas or the Bermuda chilling out somewhere as far as we know. I don't know where he's at, but he's not here for the time being. But I think fate is kind of out of his hands.
He was just in the Dominican Republic when Sherman got married.
Oh, yeah. I saw a lot of pictures on Instagram.
You think maybe he stayed behind?
These guys, they got a lot of money. They can hop from one part of the globe to the other in the time it takes us to go from one part of our commute to the next day on the job. So, who knows where they'll be bouncing around. But I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think whatever it is, the Seahawks have a plan. And we'll just find out in the next few weeks, maybe next week, whether Earl Thomas is part of that plan. You want Earl Thomas back? I would bet you would want Earl Thomas back.
Hell yeah, I want Earl Thomas back. I mean, how much of the Legion of Boom is left?
Not much.
We
got the two safeties, basically. We've got a banged-up Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas. That's it.
Right.
Either way, it's changing. It's changing fast. So we got to just kind of start getting used to it. But with that though, is the excitement. Inevitably, we all knew this was going to happen. These guys don't live forever. The shelf life is very short in the NFL, and with the salary cap and everything like that, and free agency, it's even shorter these days to kind of have a guy stay on a team as long as they do. I consider ourselves pretty lucky that we even had the LOB and this run of 5 straight seasons of playoff appearances. We're pretty fortunate to have had this run and with these many guys. Yeah. So you don't see that very often outside the Patriots.
It's pretty sad to even think about dropping it, Mm-hmm. I mean, one of them's already gone, and, speaking of Niners, or whiners as I call them, did you see what Mama Lynch posted on Facebook a while ago?
What did she post?
About Beast Mode's brother, Devontae, is suiting up for a 49ers audition.
Oh, yeah, I did catch it.
She just posted that like half an hour ago.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like, oh, no.
Well, I don't know.
Come to the Hawks.
Well, we'll see. I don't know much about his brother. Marshawn's got some tough shoes to fill.
He's really good. I've seen him play like in videos and stuff. He's really good. He's like a baby beast mode.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But there's only one beast mode. Thomas Rawls was supposed to be the second coming of beast mode, but we'll see. I'll be curious to see if he's got his same running style. You're gonna send me something on him?
He does though, and he said, "Yeah, I'll send you the article. I'll send it to you."
All right. Yeah.
Got a picture of him and everything. I mean, he resembles him a little bit, not completely, but yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I've
we'll
watched
keep
him
an
on
eye.
videos that she's posted and stuff. But God, wouldn't that be great if he came to the Hawks?
Well, I guess I got to read the article first. But if he's doing a tryout with the 49ers, why is he not going through the draft process?
He's suiting up for a 49ers audition.
Yeah, audition.
The headline says Marshawn Lynch's brother Devontae suits up for 49ers audition.
Well, they are Bay Area folks. And
audition at Levi Stadium attracts 50 local draft prospects.
Okay.
So
well,
we'll see.
I'll
send you the link.
They are Bay Area guys, and the Raiders are leaving. So if they want to stay close to home, I can see that making sense. So, not going to sweat it. I'm not going to sweat it too much. But anyway, we'll see. Next week is going to be a lot of fun. Going to be fun hitting the draft party and seeing the reaction as Seahawks make their moves.
Hey, you remember those NorbCam socks you gave me when I met you a couple weeks ago?
Absolutely.
I gave them to my son because I think I told you about that mystery box that I got from Beast Mode.
Oh yeah, yes, I remember that.
With the Stride Line Beast Mode socks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I showed my son your socks were Stride Line socks.
Mm-hmm.
He's got them. He says, I said, don't you even try and get rid of those or anything. I said, just like Norb said, those are priceless. He says,
one of a kind.
He says, really? He says, really? He says, I'm going to put them up on eBay. And I looked at him and I said, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Yeah, I know. That's like worth its weight in gold right there.
If you see a pair of autographed NorbCam socks up on eBay by somebody named Brandon, it's not me.
Okay. All right. I will keep that in mind.
He better not.
All I know is if he does put on eBay, it better go for a lot of money. Otherwise, I'd be very insulted. All right. Well, hey, Nita, I'm going to keep the phone calls rolling, but it's always good to hear from you.
I will talk to you next week, and I'll send you that link.
Sounds good. Take care. Go Hawks. All right. Let's go to DJ over in Cali. What's going on, DJ? What are you up to?
What's up?
Not much.
Oh, well, I've been looking for the Raiders draft party to go to, but it doesn't say anything, and then there's a Niners draft party, which I really don't want to go to.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to a Niners draft party, but
I really don't want to go but I want to go I'm cool with the Raiders, but the Niners are...
Could you find a Seahawks draft party somewhere down there in the Bay Area?
No. But
Tough.
maybe if there is, I'm going to go.
Tough to find, I imagine.
Tough to find.
What do you think's going to happen with Earl Thomas? Is he going to be Seahawk in 2018?
I think they'll keep him.
You don't think they'll trade him? You think they'll keep him?
Yes.
Well, I would be happy if that's the case.
Yes, well, I mean, it's tough, and I really can't wait for the schedule release tomorrow.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge. That's sort of like a pseudo Christmas gift. Just being able to kind of look at the calendar and soak in 1 week to the next for the 16 weeks in the fall, what it's gonna look like. Yeah, I'm excited, especially to see when we play the Rams, when we play the 49ers. I love the fact that this NFC West division, it's heated back up to the high rivalry stakes that it once was. You know what I mean? The 49ers were kind of a lost child there for a while, and after Harbaugh left, and now it's right back up to 49ers are with Sherman on there, are you kidding me? That's going to be just sellout material right there. And then the Rams, defending their crowd.
I mean, like, I still love him for the things he's done, but it's like,
yeah, well, I've accepted what's happened, because you kind of have to accept it and embrace the change. I'm looking forward to it. As much as it's going to be hard to watch, I'm looking forward to seeing the matchup. It's going to just be that much more fun to watch. Who's he going to cover? How's Russell going to, handle him? Is he, who's going to have the better edge on each other? So, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
In the draft, if we had to take with the 18th pick.
Who do I want to pick in the 18th? Man, I'm mixed, man, because for a while it was easy to say we need to get an offensive lineman, but we've got a lot of pieces in the offensive line right now. But to tell you something, what I feel like we need we haven't really gotten anything good in the receiving area in a long time. Running back.
Get Dez?
No, I would not touch Dez Bryant. I think he's too much money. He's too much of a distraction. I think he's past his prime, and I don't think he wants to be here anyway. I think he wants to go to somewhere in the East Coast where he can play his old team. But yeah, he's too much drama to go with him.
I was like, no, I don't want Dez.
Yeah, it's not in favor of it. Well, hey man, it's good to hear from you. We'll do this again next week. We're really getting more in depth on the draft, but I hope you find a good place to watch it other than your TV at home.
See you later.
Yeah, take it easy, man. Go Hawks.
Take it easy.
All right, let's go to our good friend over in Minneapolis. Brandon, what's going on, man?
Well, what's up, Norb? Nothing much.
Hey,
I hear about that news recently.
Which news? There's so much news out there. It's hard to keep up.
I mean, we got our kicker finally, and I like the pickup.
I like it too. I've always, kickers are one of those positions. Yeah, they say, he's 40 years old, but kickers, look at Adam Vinatieri. He's 45 years old, I think, still kicking. Kickers can go till they're old and fat, as long as their leg can move. They're still pretty solid. So I like it. I think that's. I feel confident about that one for sure. Like the numbers.
Yeah, but Norb, I mean, we should at least offer somebody Dez Bryant, even if he won't end up signing here. I just feel like if we can get him with Russell and the offense, with Doug Baldwin, just think of that, man. That'd be nice.
I just don't know if he's worth the new position. Yeah, I don't see it happening, but yeah, you can throw it out there. I think he's going to want more money than he's willing to give up. I think if we were in a position where we were a team in an area that he really wanted to be, he might give some kind of discount, but I just don't see the motivation for him to wanting to work out a deal to come to Seattle. Now, would I take him if it's really dirt cheap and he's just, why not give him a try and just see what happens? I'd give him a look, see if it was going to come at a pretty, cheap price. But again, reality is I just don't see that happening. But he's got a lot of downside to what comes with him. You see him on the sideline. Last year he was, chirping a lot on the sideline and not doing a lot on the field. So, not that impressed. I just feel like he's past his prime. But, I just don't see it happening.
I mean, but I think he would take half of his salary, which was 6.5. It was originally 12, but he would have offered to take a pay cut. So maybe like $5 million a year. I'd do that honestly. But I mean, if he really wanted to give it out in Dallas, I think he would have. I just think he wanted a new place and a new uniform. But
it's from what I read. I don't think it was that he wanted to leave. I think Dallas sort of pushed him out. I think they were sort of done with him. And whether it's because they really have their sights on Earl Thomas and we're trying to make room, or if they really were just finished with Dez Bryant in terms of his skill level and his sideline antics, maybe the combination of both. But it sounded like to me that, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Sherman comparison, where you got a team that basically, the player at least sounds like they were willing to adjust their financial situation, but the teams really were not interested in doing so. And, it's kind of funny. You got two guys who are very vocal on the sideline can almost be seen as distractions because they were very talented in their prime. And Sherman is probably still more in his prime than I'd say Des Bryant is. But, you know, got two guys who very similar personalities, similar situations, and similar kind of results in the team parting ways. So, it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. You know, there's a lot of...
Yeah, one more thing, Norb.
Yeah.
One more thing, quick. I just wanted to tell you that I did hear about the Colin Kaepernick thing. And honestly, Norb, I felt like we still should have took him in for a workout. Because, I mean, even if he's going to kneel and bring that drama, you can kick him off the team right away. Just give him, like, maybe the preseason or something just to, like, work out or something. But I felt like we should have still brought him in, but...
Well, you know, I mean, I think talent-wise, I think he's got the tools to be a good backup because, you know, he can run like Wilson can. He's got that similar, you know, they both, when they first came out, you know, the similar styles of what made them effective. But you know, there's a lot of other things besides the political stuff. Even if you look at him on what it means in the locker room, Kaepernick, one, he believes he's a starting quarterback. And so... unlike Austin Davis, who will be happily holding the clipboard, you know, Colin Kaepernick would be there feeling like Russell Wilson has his job and he's going to be wanting to take it. And, you know, would Wilson want a guy like that, you know, biting at his feet, you know, trying to, you know, have that subtle pressure behind him with a guy like that? And, you know, if you're a starting quarterback and you really don't want to be a backup, you know, he's got a responsibility to run the second team offense, simulate game situations of the other team. And would he do that? Would he do it with the right attitude? I don't know. You know, I just was never a fan of him before. Maybe it was because he was a 49er, you know, in a 49ers uniform. But I remember he did a lot of things that back then that were very, made my blood boil. But maybe that was just part of the whole rivalry thing. It'd be totally different if he's on the same team. But at this point, I'm fine with Austin Davis as the backup. I'm just glad we've got a backup signed now instead of a hole, you know, with a big question mark in it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Lots of interesting places where players are looking for homes and not getting them yet. So, all right, man. Anything else in your mind?
No, nothing. But thanks for having me on.
You bet. Every time. We'll talk to you again next week, probably.
All right.
All right. Go Hawks. Let's see. Let's go to the 425. Who's this? Where you calling from?
Hey, Norb, it's Hans. What's going on?
Hans?
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. You know, well, actually, there's a lot going on. A lot of Seahawks stuff going on. I got the draft next week. The schedule coming out tomorrow. We've got our big event in a month. You know, Earl Thomas, future in question. Oh, so many things going on. But, yeah, what about you, man? What's on your mind today?
Yeah, nothing much, but I'd like to talk some draft with you. So I've been, like, kind of going through this, you know, in my head, and I'm thinking, you know, usually the Seahawks trade down in the draft. And
right.
I was thinking, you know, they'll probably do it again. I mean, they don't even have a second or third rounder this year. Mm-hmm. So what's your take on that? And do you think they'll stay in the first round? What do you think? Well,
I've still got more homework to do. I feel like I'm not quite prepared to really know what they're going to do in that first, you know, first round. It's so hard, man. It's hard to see. I for a while I kept saying, they should get an offensive lineman. But then I started thinking about the guys they've got and the moves they've made, and they've got a lot of the offensive line pretty set right now with guys who are, you know, maybe a question mark in Effetti and things like that. But if you look across the board at offensive line, you got Dwayne Brown at left tackle. That's set. Then you got at left guard Ethan Posick. Right. I feel pretty good about that one. Right. Second-year guy. You got Justin Britt. That's set. Then you got right guard. Yeah. It's going to be the new guy, Fluker. And from everything I read, he's solid. And then it's really the right tackle question.
One of the bright spots on that Giants team, too.
Exactly. So then, who was, you know, had Solari as the line coach. So then you got the right tackle, which is right now Effetti, but you've got the George Fant question mark who's coming from the injury last season. So is he going to be kind of into?
Yeah, really high on him. So we'll see.
So
Pete Carroll and Tom Cable. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then you got a few other guys who, are still in the depth. You had Odiambo and Jordan Ruse and a couple more. So, but the question is there some guy who's going to be there at 18 who could be this future 10-year perennial Pro Bowler type that would be like, ugh, get him. And then maybe all of our offensive line problems might be corrected, but then you're going to be sitting watching all these players go by for the next 2 rounds until you get to pick again in the 4th.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be tough, because what can you get if you trade down the 1? How much more can you get? And then of course there's the possible Earl Thomas situation. Are they looking to take that first? And then will Earl Thomas yield them a couple of high draft picks if they do make a move with him?
Sure,
so, we may have some very
what are your thoughts on that Earl Thomas thing? I mean, I think there's a good chance he could get traded because, all signs are leading to him getting traded. The Cowboys releasing Dez and all of that. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because, in my opinion, it's sounding more and more like they could. Him not showing out to off-season workouts and all that. So what's your opinion on that?
Well, none of that's really a surprise because he made it pretty clear that he was thinking about not holding out this year.
Yeah,
it's easy to say, well, the signs sure point to it, but then sometimes when the signs are so obvious, that's not what's going to happen. When you think, oh yeah, I guess that's what's going to happen, then it doesn't. It's hard to read this one. I'd hate to have to, if someone put a gun to my head and say, okay, you're going to bet all your life savings, which way is it going to go? I'd probably have to lean towards the fact that it sounds like it's going that way. But I feel like we might be in for a surprise and he won't go anywhere, and he might still be here. It might come down to maybe they are trying to, shop him around, but maybe the Cowboys or whoever just isn't willing to give up enough for what they want for him.
Right.
And maybe they just let him play out his final year because technically he can't go anywhere because he's under contract for 1 more year. So unless they really want to move him, it's really the Seahawks totally in control of that situation. But and then if they wanted to, they could do the what do you call it? What's the blanking on the term? The thing where you designate the franchise tag. They could tag him next year and keep him around too if they want to play that game. But I think we'll know sooner than later. I feel like if they don't do a move in the draft, then he will be in a uniform for 2018. Yeah, that's my feeling. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the draft. So we'll know. I think within a week's time. So I hope he's still around because I still like the guy.
Yeah, and what do you think? Do you think we should, in the draft, should we address offense or defense? Because, in my opinion, I think as long as we're under Pete Carroll as head coach, I think we're always going to be a defensive-style team. But I know that, we should surround Russell Wilson with more pieces so that he can, succeed and not have to run around for his life, all day long. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's pretty funny because we've talked offensive line so much for the past, I don't know how many years, it feels like we just can't stop talking about the offensive line. And yet, as we look at all the holes we have, it feels like offensive line is actually one of the more set positions, ironically. So you look at running back. Do we really have the running back there? Do we have the receivers? I mean, I look at the depth and, we're losing a lot of offensive weapons, like you said,
Paul Richardson left.
Paul Richardson's gone. Jimmy Graham. So what do we got left? It's like we got Baldwin, we've got Lockett, we've got who am I missing?
Darbo,
which he didn't do anything last year. But does that mean he's not going to do anything next year? Maybe he'll have this slow first year and just blow up next year. It can happen. So I guess I'm hoping some of these guys will take that next step and take that second year leap and make a name for themselves. Jimmy Graham won't be here, so tight end. We got the new guy, Ed Dixon, but he's more of a blocking tight end. Nick Vannett, who was pretty quiet last year. So a lot of guys who've been on the squad just aren't big name guys, but is it because they're just not that good, or they just haven't had their chance yet? Maybe this is going to be the year that they take a step up and become the new Richard Sherman, become the new, Doug Baldwin. That they all have to start pretty low on the totem pole too. So I guess but to answer your question, I feel like defense. I say that, but I keep thinking, man, I'd like to get a receiver. But I feel like, and a running back.
Yeah.
But then, on defense, we're short on your cornerback. We're short on the cornerback side. We can always use another pass rusher. I feel like we're okay in safety, and linebacker feels pretty secure right now. But I feel like corner and pass rush is what we need. So, so corner is like receiver as pass rush is to running back. I feel like those two on both sides we need, and I can't decide whether I guess I need to look at the choices on the upcoming draft and who's going to be who will be more available around that time. We'll be drafting to decide who I think we should get, and whatever we all think they're going to get, they'll probably do something completely the opposite and stun us all. So that seems to be their modus operandi. So
I mean, well, I was looking. There's a lot of actually like pretty good running backs in these drafts. I mean, I don't think that, and we already have. Chris Carson could be a guy who can come back and have a really solid season for the Seahawks. But I think that pass rush is really what we need. And I think that's how we get back to, because when we were really good, we could rush with 4 guys and not have to blitz and just let our corners cover. I think that we need to get back to that, just 4-man pass rush. And I think with the, running backs that we have on our squad, I feel like we can either draft one late or we don't even have to draft one, and we can just roll with Chris Carson and see if he can stay healthy. And then, CJ Prosise, he hasn't proven anything pretty much, but when he played, he was okay. So he's just always injured. It feels like, there's the potential's there for all those guys. It's just, can they stay healthy? And then, I think right now for us, it's pass rush. I think that's what we have to get back to. Because you look at all the good teams, the Eagles, the Vikings, all those guys, they have, and even the Rams now, they have, good pass rushes. So I think that's how we're going to be able to, compete in the NFC, because it's just, this year it's completely loaded. But
true. But the other thing, all those teams have in common too, is a good running game too.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah.
But the other thing, though, you made a good point, and the reason we could get home and do so well with 4-man rush is we had so much depth at that run we had at the Super Bowl. We had like almost 3 lines worth of defensive depth, because we had so much money to play with. We could have a Red Bryant, and then we also had. What's his name? I was just talking about him. Clemens. Clemens. We just had wave after wave of guys, and so they were fresh. Averill and Bennett and those guys. They didn't have to play as many snaps as they had to in the more recent years. So we had these fresh guys.
I don't think Averill was even a starter. That year that we.
No, he was like a specialty guy. He just come in on certain situations. So again, that's hard to replicate, because we had a quarterback who was making chump change. Now he's one of the highest paid guys. So it's hard to there's only so many resources you can put out there. But we're kind of back in that mode again, where we had to cut a lot of veteran expensive contracts, and now we're back to streaming it down and kind of thin it out. So maybe this will be an opportunity to build up that depth that we missed and get us back to kind of that form. So. Yeah. All right, man. Good stuff. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
You betcha.
All right, I'll talk to you hopefully soon again.
All right.
Maybe after the draft we can talk and discuss the picks that they got.
Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So, all right, Hans, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Go Hawks. All right, let's go. Got about 20 minutes left here. Let's go to the 650. Who's this, and where you calling from?
It's Rohan, the 49ers fan.
Oh, Rohan. Yeah. It didn't show up on my caller information for some reason. What's going on, man?
Doing well. Haven't kept up on Seahawks news, but all I know is the last time I looked at NFL news, the starting times for national TV games got moved up.
What do you mean the starting times got moved up?
We know that Monday Night Football starts at 8:15 now. Last year it started at 8:30, and that's Eastern time. So up here it would be 5:15.
Oh, okay. Got to beat the traffic then when you get to those games. That much more tougher to get in there. Yeah, the schedule coming up tomorrow.
The other two, Thursday night and Sunday night also got moved up. Looks like Thursday night got moved up to 8:20. I don't think that really makes a difference.
Not too much.
It was a 5-minute difference.
So
Sunday night football is 8:20 now, p.m. Eastern time. Last year it was 8:30 Eastern time.
Boy, they know how to tease us with all these different little tantalizing morsels to keep us on the edge of our seats before they give us what we really want to hear. Ooh, the times have moved up by 15 minutes. Ooh, exciting, guys. So the 49er land, what's this? Tell me, did you hear the news about Marshawn Lynch's brother doing a little tryout with the 49ers? Did you hear about that?
I heard it from the person who keeps calling us the 40-winers, yes.
So you didn't yourself hear about the story?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm curious to see what that's all about. I did want to find out if any 49er fans are excited about that or not.
I don't know if it's going to make a difference. I think Shanahan's I think he's cool with the running backs he has.
Yeah.
McKinnon and Breida.
Yeah. Are you pretty high on Garoppolo? Are you drinking the Kool-Aid that he is the savior that's going to come bring this franchise to the promised land?
Honestly, I really do not know. I mean, the schedule comes out on Thursday, but I know where all of our games take place and who we're playing. Frankly, I don't like our schedule, but I hope he can pull us through. I know he's done some good things.
Mm-hmm.
He has yet to lose at anything. He's got money. He's won games. He's got even more money from the Patriots playoff run.
Yep. And he's one of the best-looking football players you'll ever find out there.
And he's got the looks.
Yes, that's for sure. That pretty boy running your offense over there. But we'll see, too. You know, he came in here and there wasn't a whole lot of expectations, no pressure. But now that he's sort of been anointed the savior of the 49ers, he's going to have to now live up to the expectations. It's a lot different when you come in and just like, hey, you know, let's see what he can do, to versus, all right, this is the year. We're going to the Super Bowl. You be Garoppolo. You know, so that's going to be the true test. Is can he actually deliver on the expectations, on the hype? You know,
the only real thing I've changed so far in the past month regarding my laptop and Niners, my new desktop has Sherman and his 49ers jersey Photoshop.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen plenty of 49ers stuff with Sherman. I saw a picture of, I think on Instagram, I saw a picture of Sherman's locker in red, the 49ers logo, number 25.
He's next to the defensive tackle.
Oh, yeah, so you saw that. Yeah. Again, little morsels of hard to believe. Just got to pinch myself and still go, yeah, this is really happening, isn't it? Yeah. It's crazy.
I know what do you think the Seahawks should go offense or defense? Because I know they need offensive line for sure, but then do they also need a new corner?
Yep. Knowing Pete Carroll and the way he's oriented and just the way things are sitting right now, I'm going to guess that he will probably go defense. That's my feeling. Cornerback or defensive end is what I see as the needs. But there's plenty of holes to pick from, so I wouldn't be disappointed if they filled any of those 4 holes, because they all need filling. You know, it's just a matter of hopefully they get the guy who can actually play when they draft him. That was the other thing I didn't get to mention. Malik McDowell, Seahawks number 1 pick last year, who they picked in the 2nd round, got the ATV accident.
You guys picked 2nd round? Oh, I thought you guys picked like the last pick of the first round or something.
No, we dropped. We had the late first round pick.
Oh right, we traded with you to get Reuben Foster.
Yeah, and so we passed on a lot of good guys to drop to the second round, and then we got him, and that's worked out really great. You know, basically, there's the word is Seahawks are going to just cut their losses and let them go shortly here. So. That was great. The Malik McDowell era.
The Niners offseason plan. Niners offseason plan is starting to become predictable. Fix the offense during free agency. Fix the defense during the draft. It's basically been the scheme for the past few years.
Interesting. Well, you guys have had a lot of holes. You had to fix a lot of stuff, but it seems like you're now starting to get some pretty nice pieces in there. So
yeah, right now, most glaring hole is a pass rusher.
Yep.
See, I kind of know. I already know who I want the Niners to take in the draft. Seahawks, cornerback, right?
Cornerback or pass rush. We could use some pass rush too.
Yeah, since Bennett's gone.
Yep. And Avril's gone, most likely. So really two holes to fill. Yep. Lots of fun for sure. But, all right, man. Well, we'll be talking some more. It's good to have a little, connection with the enemy over there and just see what's going on the other side of the fence there. So, well, good luck. It'll be fun to see what these two teams do in the draft. But, it's going to be fun.
Right now, I can't decide who I hate more, the Seahawks or the LA Dodgers.
Oh, that's right. You're a Giants fan too, right? Yeah. Well, hate the Dodgers for now. Baseball season's going on. You got nothing to worry about us.
It's nice to know that you've won 3 World Series in 5 years and can hold it over Dodgers fans for all eternity.
Well, that's true. That's true. And everybody can hold their World Series anything over the Mariners because we haven't even been there ever.
Yeah.
Sadly. So. Anyway, all right. Well, it's good talking to you, man. Take care. We'll talk to you next time. Sure. All right.
Okay, you too. Go Niners.
Yeah. Go Hawks. Oh, that's the music. Wow, look at that. I've got a clear phone queue. I think that's never ever happened. That's cool. And I can actually talk to or address some of these questions in the chat. Let's see what we got here. Dragon Hype Ortega, Spencer Jones, Savage Deshaun. Norb, you want the Seahawks to draft Shaquem Griffin? Oh yeah, I've talked about him. I think it's one of those things. It's a great story. It'd be awesome if it actually happened. Whether it would actually make sense and fit with the limited number of choices Seattle's got, it may not work out that way, but man, it would be a fun story, and the guy is fast. I'd love to see him in a Seahawks uniform as a linebacker, but man, it seems like we got a lot of other priorities to fill with those 8 picks that we got. So, I guess I'm not hopeful that would happen, but I would certainly get excited if it did. You know what I mean? It's a pretty cool story, and to get 2 brothers on the same team would be awesome. Let's see, what do you got here? And West Side Future. It's a wrap before it even started for the Niners. G Money, Jesse Stewart want Dez to come over. Oh, you guys are high on Dez, huh? G Money wants to know, are the Seahawks in a rebuild? Well, Schneider would say we're in a reset. I think that's the term, reset, which, I mean, what's the difference really? Reset, rebuild. I guess you're not allowed to say the word rebuild because that means you're not trying. It means you're actually saying, we're not going to try to win this year. We're just going to, try to get draft picks, So, that's why no one ever uses that word. But, yeah, bottom line is we're having to dump a bunch of players that we used to know very well who've been around for a long time and replacing them. So with names we don't really know. So whatever you want to call that, a rebuild, reset, reload, it's what it is. Anthony Brown, who do you want the Seahawks picking in the draft? I'm going to answer that next week. Have a little bit better idea. Like I said, I feel like our needs are pass rush, cornerback, wide receiver, offensive line, running back. I mean, that's kind of my feel where things are at. So we'll see we'll see tomorrow, next week, get a little bit more in depth to discuss that very question. Most Wanted says Dez is no good. Crazy Ogre 788, Dez sucks. Tanner Pope, what do I think about drafting a wide receiver in the first round? It would be fun to see the Seahawks draft a receiver, just because when's the last time we really drafted a good receiver who amounted to something? I guess Golden Tate be the last time we drafted somebody relatively high who actually amounted to a good receiver. Golden Tate was great. I think it was second rounder out of Notre Dame, and he was a great player. And if not for the whole Percy Harvin scenario, he probably would have still been around. But that's really the last time we've had a really great receiver. Tyler Lockett, has been good. He's more of a return guy who's also a decent receiver, but certainly not a prolific receiver. So we just have not really hit a home run on receiver in a while. So it'd be nice to see, just to give Russell a nice big target to throw to. But I do have my curiosity up on the guy that we got in the trade from Michael Bennett from the Eagles. What's his name? Johnson or something. Marquez Johnson, I think is his name. I'm excited to see what he can do. He didn't do much last year, but I don't think he got much playing time. So could he be a surprise? We'll see. But that would be intriguing to see a first-round pick. I'd be very surprised if that happened. Very Pete Carroll-like if he made a move like that. Let's see. We got a call right now from the 414. What's up? Who's this? Where are you calling from? Oh, hold on. I lost my little signal here. Hold on a second. There we go. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Tim from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Tim. What's going on?
Hey, what do you think of Rodgers now that they got rid of, now that Nelson left?
What do I think of Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, sir.
Well, Nelson was a good receiver. He was starting to get up there in age, but Aaron Rodgers, he's still considered one of the best quarterbacks in the game. I think he's due a payday. They got they got a little bit of a contract situation to get resolved over there. What do you think?
I think they need to rebuild a little bit, but I don't think they should have gotten rid of half their team, it seems like.
Well, it's the same thing that a lot of fans are upset with the Seahawks doing the same thing, letting go of a lot of playmakers and names that we've grown to love over the last 5 years. But, it's tough in this salary cap age. We can't keep everybody, and they got to make room and get younger. That is a reality. So, but the fact is, you have a franchise quarterback, it's always going to be your chances of bouncing back from losing some of those key veterans. You're in a better position to return back to form than say these teams who are still searching for one. So I take you're not a Seahawk fan. I assume you're a Packer fan.
Well, no, I'm a friend of Nita from Spokane. She said to give you a call and ask you all these nice questions about Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so you're from Wisconsin. You're not a Seahawk fan, but you know Nita. Okay, well, so who is your team then?
The Packers, of course.
You are a Packer fan. Okay, that's all right. I welcome hearing from other fans from other teams. I don't have a lot of Packer fans on here, which is it's all right. How do you know Nita?
I've known her for a few years.
Okay, all right. Well, tell me what, there's been a lot of, the Packers were a little quiet last year because of the injury. Obviously you guys missed the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers was, without him, the team's a whole different thing. But what are your thoughts on the Packers in 2018? Are you going to bounce back?
Well, I think they will. Rodgers seems to bounce back pretty good. I think that with the injuries, because he was on injured reserve, so he was forced to be out so many games.
Right.
So I think he actually could have came back sooner, but because of what they did, that he couldn't, because it's in the regulations that he couldn't come back for, I believe it was 8 games or something like that.
Well, there was that point I think they could have played him in the last. There was that point where you guys had a few more games left, and there was kind of a little bit of a controversy as to Rodgers wanting to come back and play, and whether the team wanted him to, because what was best interest of the team moving forward for the rest of the year, as opposed to the reality of the season was kind of lost anyway for you guys. So I think probably could have happened, but it made no sense for him to play. If I think there was a point, if you guys could have still made yourselves relevant to making it into the playoffs, then they would have continued to play him. But then once your playoffs hopes disappeared, it was pretty clear. Why would you risk, getting him injured?
Exactly. Why get the more hurt on the guy?
Yeah.
Hey, one more question here. I'm looking at your screen here on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's not coming up that I can type in there. Am I doing something wrong?
Oh, you're trying to type in on the chat?
Yeah, I'm a pat. You could say. Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. Do you actually have a YouTube account? I think you do have one. Okay, because I think you've got to have a account in order to type in there. But I'm not sure what. I'm not sure. I wish I could tell you.
No problem. I'll look into it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll look into it.
Well, I hope you come back in again, and we do play you guys. We play you guys here, don't we?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen the schedule yet.
I think we do. Anyway,
that might give me a reason to come out and visit a friend of mine.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Give you a reason to come out here. I do like our record when it comes to the Seahawks Packers when they play up here. So, anyway, it's good talking to you, Tim, and hope you join the show again sometime.
Oh, I sure will.
All right. Take care.
All right. And thank you, too.
Go Hawks. Yeah. All right, I'm going to take one more call because it's almost that time to wrap things up here. So I'm going to go to the 310. What's up? Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Richard Victoria, Los Angeles.
Richard from L.A. Seahawks fan or no?
Well, I was there. I was earlier. When I was younger. I was watching the Seahawks when they had Warner as a running back.
Ooh, you're going back to the '80s. So, who are you a fan of now? If you're not a Seahawks fan,
I've always been a Ram fan.
Okay. Are you an LA born, LA native?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. I had an old LA Rams helmet. The first helmet I ever had, it was the blue one with the white stripes. Had the old like Gene Washington 2-bar 70s type mask on it. I had a Rams helmet for a short while there when I didn't even know what they were. I just told my dad I wanted a helmet, and we grabbed one, and that was so for a short time I was a Rams fan. Jack Youngblood, Jim Youngblood. I'm talking old school 70s days, but you guys are stocked and loaded. Most loaded team in the NFL, I would probably say right now, based on the free agency moves you guys have done.
Yeah, but it's been a long time coming. We suffered through a lot of really bad times, but it's exciting. It's refreshing to see all this new talent that's finally coming to the Rams.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys just bought up a bunch of great talent, and obviously, you guys probably have one of the most scariest defensive lines in the league right now. Great cornerbacks out there. Maybe your linebacker, maybe is a little bit of your weak spot in that defense, but then you got an offense that can put up points. Jared Goff had a good year last year. You had Gurley, who's tearing it up at running back. Pretty pretty solid right now. So what is your concern as a Rams fan? What you got so much going your way right now? What are you nervous about for 2018?
It's not so much as a Ram, it's a concern, but I've loved the rivalries that the Seahawks and the Rams have had. I've enjoyed every year in, year out, when those two teams get together. Yeah,
I agree. And, it's been going for a while. In the early part of the 2000s, the Rams owned us. I remember having some very frustrating losses to the Rams early on, and when we first moved to their new stadium, and you guys breaking our hearts a few times, especially when you had Bulger, right? I think it was Bulger, and you guys had the quick guys, kind of the tail end of that Greatest Show on Turf, days, the lingering years after that. But yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since those games were really, something to really get super excited about from a meaningful, divisional rivalry. But it's back, and the 49ers for that matter. It's cool that the NFC West is actually just getting that much more competitive, because the better the division is, the better the football is, and just makes those games meaningful.
The thing about the 49ers, I hear a lot of talk about the 49er fans, and I was like wondering, do these fans, do they know that the team went 6-10 and not 10-6?
Well, I think it's kind of that idea of where, if you're a dying man in the desert and you've come across a little puddle of water, it's going to taste like the greatest drink you've ever had. And so having Jimmy Garoppolo come in here, they've had nothing at quarterback for how long now? And so he comes in here and he starts winning some games, the hype around where he came from, and it's all just building up. And he scores a touchdown like the first drive. He comes, I guess, a Seahawks of all places, and then he's good looking to boot. So everybody starts to think Joe Montana's back. We're gonna come back and get a sixth ring and everything. So. Every team's looking for something to hold on to, and of course, every team that hasn't had a quarterback, once they feel like they've got their quarterback, that feels like it's solved all their problems. And so, I understand the excitement to it. I do think that it's a little bit too early to get excited over 5 games of last year under no pressure and kind of in a season that was already over. Don't have anything to lose. So, but he might be the deal though. We'll see.
Yeah, everyone's talking about, all these players that the Seahawks have lost, but when you think about it, you guys have a franchise quarterback and you got a franchise middle linebacker on defense. So it's going to be so much easier to build around those two guys than trying to find a quarterback and then build around. So I'm looking at the Seahawks, not even less than a year, that they're going to be right there again. So it's just a matter of a couple of trades here, a couple of drafts. You guys will be right there again.
Yeah, well, and I think that's why I have some friends, Seahawks friends, who are just freaking out, who've already written us off as, we're gonna be 4-12, we're gonna be this and that. I'm like, dude, we haven't even the draft yet. But I guess because of what the very point you made, have the kind of the most important guys on each side of the ball are set and going to be there for a while, that you can build around that and not drop off for as long of a time period, even if you do lose some key guys in other positions around there. I do believe, though, that you guys have a great running game, a very enviable running game that a lot of teams would like to have, and we need to get a running game back again. It may not be to that level, but I think if we just get a decent running game, it doesn't even have to be great. It just has to be decent to good. And I think that would change our entire dynamic of our offense, because we've had just nothing. We've had one of the worst running games in the last 2-3 years. And so, and we've still managed to hang in there and, and sneak our ways into the playoffs. So we get something that's just above average, then I think that will change things entirely.
Everybody's wondering what the heck the GMs are doing. And I had some idea that it was time to get younger. But having the young quarterback and Wagner, solidifying both sides of the ball, a few pieces here and there, and I can see what the GMs what they're doing.
Yeah, well, and I think to be honest, I think that the Seahawks probably were looking to make some of these moves earlier, but they probably couldn't just because when you're in the playoffs every year, you don't want to mess with things too much, because you're still got something that's working. People will be like, why are you doing that when we got this playoff team? Because last year they were trying to shop Sherman, and now in retrospect, it's too bad they didn't last year, because if they had, we would have gotten a lot of capital in exchange for him, and he would have done better because he would have gotten with a team before he got injured. Really, it was a lose-lose situation that they didn't move him before the injury. So he lost out on a better deal, and we lost out on getting something for him. But that's just how it works out. Sometimes, unfortunately, bad luck with the injuries and the timing of all that. So, but yeah, I guess that's why I remain optimistic, to at least feel like we always have a chance. But that's why I think this draft is very important, because we can't have the first pick of our draft go like it did last year, where he basically never saw the field, and now it looks like he's just going to be gone from football. So that was just a complete bust last year, in a flukish kind of way. ATV accident, go figure. So. But yeah, it's gonna be fun to see what happens next year. But yeah, next week with the draft. But you guys have already. I mean, you kind of reminded me of what we did back in the Super Bowl time, when we had a lot of money to spend, and you just kept just filling up, getting a lot of depth in there, a lot of I mean, I think you guys went way over the top on the free agents than we did at the time, but. Man, I mean, you guys are going for it all, clearly. So it's going to make our matchups fun.
Yeah, well, like people said, a lot of people say, hey, they look great on paper, but it's just a matter of them putting it together, as a unit, Yeah,
and that's the thing. Yep. And just because it looks good on paper doesn't mean it's all going to gel together. You still got to manage it and make it work, especially with a lot of free agent egos in there playing, Ndamukong Suh next to your other tackle.
But how can you not be excited about it? How can you not be excited and see how this thing's going to actually work out?
Yeah, no, it could be deadly, and it just scares me already. It was already scary, and now it's even doubly scary. So yeah, it's hard not to be, I'm sure, chomping at the bit as an LA Rams fan, but. It's our hope that somehow the whole thing will implode on itself, and we'll come out from the ashes on top. So we'll see. But yeah, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Feel free to call again.
Yeah. Hey, I think it's going to be a 3-team race. Within a year, I think all 3 teams are going to be right there.
It could be
at least a year.
It could come right down to the final games of the year of the season to determine who's number 1, number 2, and number 3.
Hey, I just want to see the NFC West a powerhouse again over the National Football League.
And this might be the year. It's certainly looking like at least 3 teams have a good shot at coming out with winning records. And I'm not giving any credit to Arizona at this point, just because they're the 4th team out of there, and they don't got a really good quarterback situation. But I can never count the Cardinals out, because they somehow find a way to beat us once a year. I don't know how they do it, but they do, no matter how down they are. So,
I think it's all about matchups.
It is about matchups, exactly. And
once he could be 6, 4-10, but. Within the division, for some reason, they got a hold of the other team's number.
Right. Yeah, that's true. It's true. I mean, just because A beats B and B beats C doesn't mean A will dominate C. It never works out that way, even though mathematically you think it does. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. Feel free to call in again, and we're going to talk Rams Seahawks as this season goes along. It'll be a lot of fun.
Good luck, you guys. I hope you guys have a good draft.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And good luck to you. Not that you're going to need it, but, well, maybe you will. We'll find out. All right.
All right, Norm.
Take it easy. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Take it easy.
All right. Well, I'm over time. I had to wrap up 10 minutes ago, and I got longer than I expected. So I'm going to have to jump. I got to get out of here. So anyway, thank you again for everybody for participating, calling in, chatting. Always remember, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll talk to you next week before the draft. It's going to be a good one. All right. Take care, guys, and go Hawks.